Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kayfabe Central podcast of the headlines in pro wrestling this week. I am your host, Josh. Joining me again is Ruan Wrestling.
Hey everyone.
So yeah, if you guys have been watching the podcast long enough, you guys know how this works. We go over all the weekly topics and headlines that have happened in pro wrestling this week, and um I feel like the past couple weeks we've had quite a bit of things to talk about. Like we have quite a bit of stuff to talk about this week as well. Um yeah, pro wrestling is just always a moving sport. Everything's always happening.
Yeah, it's been crazy this last week. I think we even laughed about it for last week. We're like, wow, we've got so much to talk about, and we we missed
Yeah.
the beginning of SmackDown because of it.
Yeah. So we are gonna get into SmackDown a little bit later on. Before we get into that though, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, interviews that come to the channel. I may have a interview coming soon to the channel. I haven't got a yes from the person yet, so I'm not going to promote it. Um, but may have that coming soon. Subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. I upload exclusive wrestling content there, stuff that I can't post on YouTube and stuff like that, especially because of copyright and all that. Go follow Ruin Wrestling on TikTok. He's got some cool wrestling content on there. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Um so I don't know if you've been paying any attention to this, but there's been promotion of the reboot of American Gladiators, and uh, I'm actually pretty excited for this, and I'm going to be watching it. And I believe I did talk about this like a couple weeks ago before I had you on the podcast, and I mentioned some names and that could be on this show, and some of the names are actually on it. And so we have I really only recognize two of these names. And the names are Wardlow and Rick Boogs. I know J Rod is like a wrestler in like OVW or NWA, but never seen any of her stuff. Um, I don't know too much about the Jessie Godderz person. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this. I don't know if you've heard anything regarding this.
So I don't actually know too much about it. We do have a Gladiators, I guess UK one over here that was rebooted not too long ago. But I don't know too much about the show itself, but I do know from obviously being in the wrestling sphere that obviously, so I know it's hosted by The Miz, I believe,
Yeah,
this new one. Yep. And as you said, yes, Rick Boogs and Wardrobe will announce, and I believe as well, now you correct me if I'm wrong, his Camille as well in
yeah,
AEW. She's been announced, yep.
yeah.
So
Uh,
they're the only ones I know.
yeah. Yeah, I forgot to mention Kamille, and I have her name right in front of me. Um, I did hear that there was some issues with getting Wardlow and Kamille on the show because of the WWE and AEW relation there. Um,
Yeah, I'd heard that as well, but I wasn't too sure what side it was on. I just heard that there was one side was unhappy, but they didn't say which one.
yeah. Um, I'm I'm not gonna assume which side is unhappy. But yeah, I mean it's a show. It's not like that Wardlow's coming over to WWE to wrestle. Um,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can. When I first heard the news, I took a guess to which side, but you said I'm not going to speculate.
yeah,
But I think it's got nothing to do with either side. It's its own show, and if I don't know, it just seems petty if it's
yeah.
from one side to
That
the other.
that's all it is. It seems. Um, Another thing to talk about here is Mr. Iguana. Now he's not going to be on American Gladiators, but he has been getting heat recently, saying he's like he went to the performance center or whatever, and he was apparently told that he's because of his merch sales, he's going to skip NXT and go straight to the main roster. Now, he got over pretty well on Worlds Collide, but and I get that he's over and WWE is going to want to sign him, but let's be realistic. Mr. Iguana's not if he gets signed, he's not going straight to the main roster.
No, not at all. I heard this and I was a wee bit like, oh man, because I was very much on the Mr. Iguana hype train. I thought he was hilarious at Worlds Collide. I knew nothing about him until then, and I got a big kick out of him. And then when we seen him at Money in the Bank, I was like, oh my God, it's Mr. Iguana. I did hear this. It was a bit like as soon as I read when I read the original headline of what he had said, I was kind of like, that's not going to end well, is it? And yes, as you've said, I read today that he does have a bit of heat backstage. I think I mean, I'm sure he'll still be fine at the end of the day. I mean, I know they'll want to probably jump on it, but as you said, he's not going to be going on to the main roster and winning any form of championship anytime soon.
Yeah. I think Shawn will save him. I think Shawn Michaels will save him and bring him to NXT.
Yeah,
Um, but this is not a good start for him if he's getting
no,
signed.
no, not at all. Yeah, when he said it, I was like, oh my God, come on, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate he's probably just like so ecstatic by how crazy everything was. I'm sure he didn't say it out of malice. It wasn't like he was poking fun at like, oh, look at all the other AAA guys going to NXT. I'm sure it was harmless, but it's just like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, so I mentioned we're gonna get into SmackDown and like we're kind of breezing through these, but the past two topics was not much to talk about. Um, we there's been rumors that two people are going to appear on SmackDown tonight. One of them being Kiana James, who we haven't seen in a long time. Um, she might pop up. I don't know what exactly she's going to do. I guess SmackDown is 3 hours, so they're gonna maybe they'll fill a slot with somebody else. Maybe they do an injury angle with the Queen of the Ring tournament, and like someone like Alexa Bliss gets taken out, and she replaces, or it literally could just be she walks into Nick Aldis's office and signs a contract and he's like, okay, welcome to SmackDown. You're gonna have a match next week.
Yeah, I had heard Kiano. I'm interested actually. I don't know if I know the other one that's down to being announced, but yes, I'd heard Kiano was supposedly backstage for tonight, and actually it's been well over a year since we've seen her. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they could do, I guess, a simple route of an injury angle for the Queen of the Ring bracket. The only other place that I imagine seeing her would be amongst the Women's United States title picture, mainly because I could see Hart and Chelsea going back and forth quite well.
Yeah, they could also do that. Because right now they just really have Zelina and Julia going back and forth, and like
Yeah,
Chelsea sporadically just being like, Nicholas, where's my title shot? Um, so the other person that's rumored is Hikuleo, and this one I can also
oh
see
yes,
happening.
yes.
Because Jacob just turned on Solo, and Hikuleo could be Jacob's replacement, and so I could see both of these happening tonight.
Yeah, the Hikuleo one, you're correct. I did. Yeah, I did notice. I completely forgotten, and I agree. I can totally see it happening. Which also I think doesn't, or maybe doesn't put or sound too good for Jacob in the short run for his United States Championship. Um, Potentially I could see him losing that quite soon to uh let's just say a lot of involvement from the likes of Hikuleo and JC Mateo.
Yeah,
Which to be fair, I'm actually okay with. If that means they're putting Jacob up to the top, then I'm quite happy with that.
that
But
is really true.
yeah, I did see that. Yeah, exactly. I did see that about Hikuleo. I mean, he's been with WWE now for well, maybe not well over a year, but about a year going on now.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, we had he's never shown up on WWE television, I don't think.
No, he hasn't. No, not at all.
So yeah, he could definitely show up tonight. I can see that happening. Um, I still think that they're gonna go the Jacob and Solo route, but like you said, it could just end up with like a lot of interference and Jacob losing that title.
Yeah, because I could see them doing that maybe at like Night of Champions or something like Jacob versus Solo, and Solo might pick up the victory there. Or if they can't fit it on the card, I guess Saturday night's main event could be another place that they could do it. I mean, they could hold off to SummerSlam, but SummerSlam, when is it this year? Is it later on in August than usual? Was it
Um,
early? I cannot remember.
I can't remember the dates off the top of my head, but I think it's like in the 20s. So yeah, like mid late
Okay,
August.
okay.
Um, so we're talking about SmackDown. We have more King and Queen of the Ring stuff tonight. Um, I can't remember exactly which matches are tonight. I just have the bracket in front of me.
I know from the men's side, it's the Cody, Randy, who else? Alistair and Priest. Is that
Well,
one?
Cody and Randy are in separate matches, so
Oh, are they? Okay. It's the
yeah.
Cody one anyway.
Oh, is it the
Wait,
Cody one tonight?
oh,
Okay.
I could be completely wrong. Let me check this
Um,
up before I get slated.
yeah. Just give me quick.
God.
Okay, yeah, it is the Cody one.
No, wait.
Oh,
Is
it's
it?
both of
Okay.
them tonight, actually.
Oh, is it both? Oh, wow,
Yeah, they're
okay.
doing both tonight, and same with the women's. Okay. Um,
Oh, fair enough.
yeah. Um, so let's go through this bracket real quick. So we obviously had Sami Zayn advance. Um, the bottom left side of the bracket, I don't see any of these guys winning the entire tournament. Um, maybe we get. They seem to be very babyface heavy on this tournament, so it could be Orton that
Yeah.
advances.
I
Um,
think the thing, like you said there, with it being so babyface heavy, I guess it kind of telegraphs it a little bit, but I guess it has to. No, it doesn't have to be, but with both world champions being two of the top heels, it kind of has to be, I guess, for at least for the guys anyway.
yeah.
Let's have a look.
And so the top right of the bracket, the Cody match, which we were just talking about, um, I obviously think Cody's gonna win that match tonight.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm in agreement.
the bottom right of the bracket, we found out a couple hours ago who the fourth person is between Sheamus, Rusev, Reed, and it's going to be Jay Uso, the fourth man. Now
Yeah,
I kind of saw this
I'd seen
coming.
that.
Once he lost the title, I saw this coming. There was speculation about it being Ilya, but I think he's not back until like September.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be Jay Uso. I don't think the plan is to have Jay Uso win this and go back for another title shot.
Yeah, I totally agree. In fact, I actually did another podcast earlier where we talked about this, and I said that exactly what you've just said was I'm glad Jay's got to have his run on top. Um, and whether or not you think it's good or bad, or you liked it or you didn't like it, that's whatever. I'm glad that he got to do it because I think that's it now for Jay. He might hang around in the mid card for a bit, but apart from that, I think he'll join back it with Jimmy. I don't really foresee Jay Uso being ironically in the main event anymore.
Yeah. Um, in terms of who's going to win this tournament, so for that fatal four way match, I can see it the semifinals being Sami Zayn and potentially Randy Orton. I mean, anybody can come out of that match, honestly.
Yeah,
Um, so Sami Zayn versus one of those guys. I could see it being Cody Rhodes and Bronson Reed. in the semifinals.
Yeah.
Um, I don't I don't see why they would have Jay and Cody. They could just do it for, like the fans.
Yeah.
But I can see Bronson Reed coming out of that. And then the finals, I can see it being probably Sammy and Cody.
Yeah. I'm in total agreement. Maybe one slight one, but I agree it doesn't really change the outcome. So yeah, also got Sammy in there. Autumn Night, Black Haze, as you said, that could be any of them. I don't think it matters because I think they'll lose to Zayn. I'll take Kelly Knight in there just because I don't try to keep the momentum after losing the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
We'll keep Zayn, obviously, with it being in Saudi. Zayn's probably the most popular roster member, so we'd have Zayn. And then, yeah, I think Cody goes through tonight. And yeah, out the bottom right hand one, originally when I seen the setup for that match, my instant thought was, please let it be Obafemi. I was like, that match, imagine Sheamus, Rusev, Reed, and Obafemi. What a Booker T would be in heaven at that
Yeah.
point. He would be loving it. But yeah, no. Then everyone started speculating, and I was actually fully locked in for it to be Elio. I as you said, yeah, it does seem like he's going to be out longer by looks of things because I was once I heard Elio, I honestly thought if it's Elio, he's got to win it, so they could do Elio Gunther at SummerSlam, but possibly not, which could also telegraph that Gunther's also going to win at SummerSlam because if Elio's back, they might hold off and do that at Clash in Paris, which would be ridiculous. But yeah, with Jay, I can totally see them wanting to do that Jay Cody match because of the history the two have got together with being partners. If I got to pick who I would like to see go through, I'm with you in agreement. I would go Reed. I think they're going to go Jay, but either way, it doesn't actually make a difference because I think Cody will beat Jay in the semi-finals, and then we have Cody and Sammy in at Night of Champions, and I think Sammy's going to get very, very, very close, but not quite get there, and it's going to be Cody. And I feel like Sammy, slight spoilers for later on down the line, I think he's got another big win coming from in Saudi later on in the year.
Yeah. I think whether or not Cody wins this, he's going to face Cena regardless at SummerSlam.
Yep.
So I can see them going with Sammy winning this, but realistically, I am not fully interested in seeing Zayn and Gunther again.
Yeah.
I wasn't really fond of Zayn beating Gunther for the IC title in the first place. Um, and like honestly, like part of me like wishes that Gunther was still the Intercontinental Champion. Um,
Goes on.
but
Uh,
yeah, I can see Zayn winning this because it doesn't matter what happens. Cody Rhodes is facing John Cena at SummerSlam.
yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, no matter what, if Cody wins or doesn't win, um, he'll face, the reason I'm going to go with Cody is of what I was saying just before with Zayn because of it. So the event I was referring to was the Royal Rumble later on, but also not even in the year itself, so into next year, and it's already getting a bit of heat for it being in Saudi. So I mean, things could change. The trajectory of everything could change, so it might not be. At the meantime, I could see Sammy eventually winning the Rumble in Saudi. But as you said right now, I don't have an interest in seeing Zayn and Gunther again. And I enjoyed the match. I think it was one of the matches of the weekend.
Yeah,
But I'm in agreement with you that like it should have been Chad or someone else. I didn't want to see Zayn beat Gunther, but
yeah. Are they doing the
it
Rumble
it
in
happened.
Saudi?
Yeah, Rumble's in Saudi in 2026.
Oh wow, I did not see that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I'm just going to double check in case I don't get shouted out. Yeah, it's taking place in Riyadh.
Oh wow.
So Yeah, that's what I was referring to when I was saying I feel like Sammy loses heel. He comes very close, but he gets a big win in Saudi later on down the line.
Yeah, that is very possible. Yeah, I had no idea it was in Saudi. So yeah, now that you brought
Yeah,
that up, it's very well possible that Cody can win this tournament.
yeah. I bet. Yeah, as you said, either way, I think Cody's facing Cena. I don't think that's in doubt, really.
Yeah. Um, Another Queen of the Ring tournament. I don't fully know which direction they're gonna go with here. Um, it could be a few people that's in this, right? So the people that we can take out, Ivy Nile's not gonna win this. Um, I don't see Raquel winning it. Um, Stephanie is a possibility. Because they seem to like her. Um, Asuka is just coming back, and they just like randomly said, "Oh, guess what? Asuka's coming back next week."
Yeah,
Um,
so someone messed up when they put up that graphic.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Um, so I don't think it's gonna be Asuka. Candice LeRae's not winning it. There could be a world where Chelsea Green does, and they do that whole thing with her because I can see her gimmick really fitting that. Um, I don't think Alexa Bliss is going to win it. There is the very high possibility that Charlotte Flair wins.
Yeah,
Um, there's also a possibility Rhea Ripley wins. Or Jade Cargill because they teased that. Because they teased Charlotte and Jade, I'm going to assume that's going to be the finals.
yeah. I totally agree. It's exactly what I thought. I think it'll be Charlotte and Jade. It does throw me off slightly that it's obviously two SmackDown, but I don't think that really matters having two SmackDown competitors because that's the whole point and the way it's set up.
Yeah,
That can happen. But yes, I think Charlotte and Jade, and I would then assume. So I've got okay. I'll put my actual what I want to happen versus what I think could definitely happen to one side. I've got two separate opinions. The thing that the bit that I don't want to happen but could definitely is Charlotte winning because it's Charlotte, it's Queen of the Ring, and I'm scared to ever bet against Charlotte. Um,
yeah,
because as you said, it's Charlotte Flair. She doesn't win everything. Obviously, we've seen it at WrestleMania, but you can never say no against her. But to put my logical brain onto it, I think it would be Cargill. It seems like she's set for quite a big push, and it would make sense storyline wise if because also we've been chatting about it kind of back and forth in messages and stuff. If Jade was to go on to SummerSlam to face Tiffany and quite potentially win, that leads in quite nicely to not only Bianca potentially returning at SummerSlam, but obviously Naomi having the briefcase. It kind of makes sense for it to be Jade.
that is very true. Um, yeah, I mean, this tournament could, I mean, not could, is pretty stacked. I mean, we could have the match of Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill in the semifinals, which is kind of insane. Um, and like that one's a tough one to bet on. Because they could very well just go with Rhea.
Did Rhea not? Did Rhea lost to Perez, didn't she? It's Perez that's in the semifinal.
Oh yeah, sorry. That okay, yeah, I have the the bracket before that
Oh,
match. So sorry about that. So yeah, Roxanne
okay.
did advance. Sorry. Um so yeah, Jade's gonna win. So,
Yeah. Oh, that just answers that question. And
yeah.
I mean, I think Perez does have a chance. To be fair, I mean, well, I say it does because of how stacked it is on certain sides, and maybe saying she has a chance is a bit far fetched. But like, I mean, I could see it happening, especially with the whole Judgment Day thing. But we said that about Money in the Bank. It was oh, Perez could it'd be cool to see all with Money in the Bank, with the whole Judgment Day storyline. But I think the Judgment Day storyline is very much, you know, if fourth, fifth, if not further down the line of importance in the division that WWE kind of look at it from a creative point of view.
Yeah. So are you going with Jade winning this tournament as well?
I'm taking Jade.
Okay. Um, yeah, so we're in agreement with that. Um, and partially in agreement with the men's side of things as well.
Yeah.
Um, some other topics here. We were just talking about him, so we'll stay on the topic. Jey Uso lost the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I like and dislike this. I like it because I wasn't very fond of Jey Uso's title reign. Like I even texted you right after it happened. I'm like, I'm not totally mad.
Yeah.
Um, I wasn't very fond of it, and I was one person who said he shouldn't have won that match. I dislike it because I don't think they've done much to rehab Gunther since the tap out loss. And I think this is honestly just to set up Gunther versus Goldberg and to have Goldberg fight for the championship.
Yeah, I think you've got it spot on there. We actually spoke about this earlier in that little podcast, and he asked me an interesting question. Shout out to Craig, by the way. He asked me an interesting question: was could we look at the Jey Uso title reign as successful? And it's a weird one to think about because it depends on how you look at success and how you value it. Because if you look at the reaction in the arena, he's one of the biggest stars on Raw. The cheers he gets, the fan interaction. But as we point out, it was only 51 days, and all he defended it against Logan Paul. Really,
Yeah.
that was that was it. So I'm with you. I wasn't the biggest fan of the reign, and I don't think that's entirely Jay's fault. It's just the booking of it, and obviously the fact that they've now got this shiny old that's came back out of its packet toy in Goldberg, and they've kind of gone, ooh, let's do that. And putting on Gunther. And I agree that it has just been set up for the Goldberg match. Which I mean, I did say to be fair, like I don't really have an interest in seeing a Goldberg match in 2025. I understand it's quite possibly his retirement match.
Yeah.
Goldberg's someone, you know what, it was way before my time of watching wrestling, so he's not someone that I have like these fond memories with or this attachment to.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what he did when he came back in 2016 against Brock, but that's been about it. I don't have this crazy attachment to Goldberg. But if there's one person on the roster who I would like to see, as long as they do it properly and have him absolutely destroy Goldberg, it is Gunther. And as you said, that might help give him that bit of legitimacy back. But I feel like he could have done with that before going into this match.
Yeah. Um, I could see them doing this at Saturday night's main event to compete with All In.
Yep,
Um,
absolutely.
I I'm in agreement. I am not the biggest fan of this, and I definitely don't think it should be for the world title. Um, was I a fan of Jay's reign? No, but at the same time, I don't think you should have put the title on Gunther just for that match with Goldberg, and it would be even worse. And there's still the possibility of this of Goldberg winning that title.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it twice before now. I think with Goldberg, firstly when he faced Kevin Owens, and it was like, surely Goldberg's not going to win the title. Oh, wait, he
Yeah,
did. And then secondly, and probably more egregiously against the Fiend, where it was like, surely Goldberg doesn't win this. Oh, wait, he has. Okay, cool.
yeah. Um, so yeah, there's the World Heavyweight Championship picture. Um, I am somewhat happy it's back on Gunther, and I hope he can get the legitimacy back that we mentioned. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it will be better on Gunther in the end, as long as he doesn't lose it to Goldberg.
Yeah, I hope not. Obviously, Seth's waiting in the background. That's almost what shocked me more actually on Monday was I wasn't necessarily shocked about Honestly, well, a little bit, but about Jay losing or Gunther winning, I was kind of shocked that there wasn't anything from Seth because I really thought Seth was going to be walking out there with the title, whether Jay won or lost. But I was wrong. It's on Gunther, and yeah, I agree. I am looking forward to this reign. Hopefully, it's a little bit better than his previous one, and I actually do think a good man for that we've mentioned would be when Elio comes back. Because if you want to bring some legitimacy back to Gunther, put him in there with Elio, and the two can just kill each other.
Yep. You mentioned Seth. I don't think Seth is gonna cash in on Gunther. I don't see that happening. They seem
Oh,
like
really? Okay.
they're going to go with the Cena and Cody route with Seth.
Oh, I wonder then. I never even considered it, but potentially you have Cody beat Cena, which I think would very much split the audience because Cody's still got quite a split reaction. He literally is the new John Cena.
Yeah.
But maybe when Cody beats Cena, we instantly get Seth cashing,
Yeah,
something like that.
that's very
Okay,
possible.
now that you've said that and I've thought about it, I like that. And yes, I am now actually in agreement with that. I like that.
Yeah, because I don't see Seth cashing in on Gunther. I think Gunther winning this was
Yeah,
primarily to set up him versus Goldberg.
yeah. No, I
Um,
now you said it. Yeah, I think so. I think you're totally right. I think like yeah, good. It was to set that up anyway, but yeah, I can't see a world of Seth legitimately cashing in Gunther, and I like know that way you can and can't picture things in wrestling. That's something I can't picture now that I've said it.
yeah. On the topic of Monday Night Raw, R-Truth is now Ron Killings, and he cut his hair off on Monday Night Raw. Um, I'm interested in this. I like it.
Hell yeah, no, I love. Let's say I was gonna say I love Truth. It's not just Truth. I love Ron Killings. I've gone back and watched his old stuff in TNA. The guy's incredible. Like, he just gets laden with this like the goofy gimmick. Which don't get me wrong, R-Truth alone is Hall of Fame worthy for what he's done. But Ron Killings is a nut job, and I love it. Like I absolutely love it. And I was a big fan of this, and I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen the rant he goes on and busted open
Yep.
after what Bill Ray said? Yeah, it's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah, that completely different side of our truth. And yeah, like I said, I'm completely invested in this and intrigued to see where it goes.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't know. I was very much like in a dream world. I'm like, sod Cena going out by putting a younger guy over. I'm like, let's just stick the title in Ultra. I know they wouldn't do that with Ron Killings. I know
Yeah.
they won't do that, but I do actually see this match happening, and I think, and I don't know if this is something you're going to talk about down the line. So if it is, we can always jump onto it. Was I see it happening at Saturday night, not Saturday night, sorry, at Night of Champions, because there's no way on this earth that CM Punk is competing at that event, no matter what they say.
At Night of
I,
Champions.
I, yeah, after everything he said in the past about the Saudi shows, he can't all of a sudden just go back to it. I mean, look, I can't say what the guy can and can't do. Like it's if he has made his decision to do that, then fair enough. But there's going to be a lot of backlash if Punk does compete at Night of Champions, and I don't foresee it happening. I think they might do what they've done previously with Punk and have an injury angle with him with Cena, and we might get Ron Killings and Cena at Night of Champions instead.
I didn't think of that because yeah, he is already getting a bit of backlash about it.
Yeah.
Um
It's more the comments he said. It's not a case of like, oh, he's a bit against it. He's said some strong worded comments about it.
yeah. Yeah, I did not have that written down, but yeah, that is very true. Um I I don't know. I feel like they still might go ahead with the Cena and Punk thing. Because I can't remember how many dates Cena has, and I think he's going to be on SmackDown tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I think you're right. I did see that graphic, which I think he showed. Oh, what was it? 19 maybe or less than that after Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So
Um,
it's ticking down, which is terrifying.
and we do need that Cena and Punk match. And I
We
think
do.
it will happen. I think he's just going through opponents. Um, yeah, I think they're just gonna say screw it and deal with the backlash.
Yeah, well, that's it. If they do it and Punk agrees to do it, then it's cool. I'm one of these people. I'm not it wouldn't it wouldn't bother me as much. I know what Punk said in the past was very, very strong worded. He might, he does seem like a different guy now. If they want to do it and Punk's okay to do it, then cool. Because it's a match I want to see, but it's just I think as long as WWE and Punk are aware, they're going to get a lot of backlash for doing this match.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. I didn't even like process that until I saw it on like Twitter, and now you're saying it like they could just scrap it. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
they could go that route. Um, I do have to create a new meeting because we have 3 minutes and we're not going to get through all of these in 3 minutes. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I will be right back.
Yeah, cool.
All right, we're back. So yeah, we just talked about the R-Truth, Ron Killings thing. Something else that happened on Raw. Nikki Bella returned, and it was announced that she has an announcement to make, and so she comes out and she's like, I was gonna do a Nikki Bella impression, but I'm too tired to do that. Um, she came out and said, "Hey guys, you remember how they announced Evolution is coming back like a week ago? Well, in case you forgot, it's happening." Um, so that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
And then Liv Morgan comes out and attacks her, and this is either going to set up for a one-on-one match or a angle with the Bella Twins for the tag team titles.
Yeah, I think what was interesting actually is when this was first set up, I thought straight away that it was going to be for the tag belts. But I honestly didn't know if it was going to be the Bellas because I just didn't know the lines that could be crossed with Brie Bella.
Yeah.
Obviously Danielson being in AEW, Brie has appeared on AEW TV. She was at All In Wembley last year, so I wasn't too sure. So I was trying to like kind of go through a list of names. I've seen folks saying Rhea Ripley. I'd even seen folk saying once again speculating that AJ could come back, tag with Nikki. But it seems like over the last couple of days, it does seem like they are interested in getting Brie on board and having the Bella Twins compete here at Evolution.
Yeah, and they didn't end on bad terms with Danielson, from to my knowledge.
No.
So I think they'll be fine. Um, I don't. Is Danielson still technically signed with AEW despite him being retired?
Yeah, I think he's still signed, but I don't know in what context.
Oh, okay. Um,
I could
I
be
mean,
completely wrong.
I don't believe Brie is. Um, so they still could go the Bella Twins.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, something I found funny from this segment though, she was going through a list of the roster of like people making names for themselves. She mentioned Io Sky, and she also mentioned Stephanie Vacquet. um,
Vacquet.
and I was like not really interested in this segment until she said that, and it just caught my attention. Attention. I was like, what?
That's pretty much I was the same. I was sat there watching Raw, and I was like, kind of as you said, half loosely paying attention, half my phone, and then she went, Stephanie Vacquet, and I just looked up and I was like, what did you just say? Like,
Yeah.
oh,
um.
it was funny.
So yeah, there's that. And I'm pretty sure Io Sky was in WWE like NXT while Nikki Bella was there as Io Shirai. Um, unless they just
Yeah, I'm
don't
pretty
never
sure she
know.
was.
unless they just never met, which is a
Uh,
possibility.
Possibly. I think she was. I don't know. Have you seen the? It was going around on Twitter. Have you seen the clip from the Bellas podcast when Nikki was trying to explain why she said that, and Bree just absolute roast her?
Oh no, I didn't actually.
No, it is actually quite funny to be fair to Bree. Nikki was trying to justify it or something, and Bree was just like, girl, you're like half Mexican. How could you not say it? And she was like,
um,
I don't know, I just couldn't say it.
yeah. That was pretty funny. Um, I do gotta look at that clip though. I gotta see that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Um, in terms of NXT, a couple of things happened. We had Obafemi and Jasper Troy like break the middle rope.
Oh no.
Um, that was kind of insane. That match was a lot better than I expected.
Yeah,
Um,
I said obviously. I didn't watch LFG. I don't know if you did. So
yeah,
I really didn't know anything about Jasper Troy. Obviously, I knew he won it and seen clips here and there. But I had no idea what he was going to be like. But I mean, if that is what he's like in his first proper match on the main roster against Obafemi, I think the future does look pretty good for him.
100%. Um, we had some stuff announced for Jacy Jayne, her plans for Evolution, because she's going to be defending the NXT Women's title at Evolution. I can't remember the format. I believe it was it two fatal four-way matches?
It's four. Oh my God, it's four singles matches,
Oh yeah,
and
and then
then the
a fatal
winners of
four-way
those
match.
matches. Yeah,
We'll face her.
yeah. I
So
cannot
there's
remember
that.
the setup for.
On the topic of Jacy Jayne, Mariah May, we saw her appear, but we didn't know her name the last time we talked about her on this podcast. Her new name is Blake Monroe. Um, and apparently, according to Twitter, she has been copying Sabrina Carpenter. Now, I don't pay attention to Sabrina Carpenter at all. Um, but apparently, like she is like page by page copying Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, I hadn't heard this. I had no idea.
Yeah. Um, so I mean, I don't really like anybody copying people. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't really pay attention to Sabrina anyway. So in terms of the name, I think they could have came up with something better.
Yeah, I heard the name and I was like, oh, I agree. The one thing I would say, and so many folk were up in arms about it, and it's just like, at the end of the day, a name's a name. It's not the biggest thing. Everyone said that about Gunther when he changed from Walter. And now everyone's so used to calling him Gunther. So I don't mind. I do agree. I was like, it could have been a bit better, but I'm sure after a while, everyone will completely forgotten about it and they'll get used to calling, especially when she's on top and dominating. I think they'll get used to it. But yeah, it could have been slightly better, and I mean, they might potentially still change it considering what it was apparently named. Well, not named after, but what it has links to.
Yeah. Um, last topic here. Because I don't really have anything else to say in terms of her. Have they announced her debut match yet? Actually,
No, so I really thought she was going to be in the tournament
yeah,
for Evolution, but she's not at all, which really threw me off. Unless I mean, they could always do the classic injury angle, but I think it's a bit weird to just not announce her. So I could only assume that she'll be competing for the NXT Women's Championship in whatever NXT show is around SummerSlam.
yeah. Um, so final topic here. I didn't watch all of AEW Summer Blockbuster because I am so sorry, but I am was not sitting through 4 hours of it. I put a tweet out and I was like, I'm so sorry, guys, but I'm not sitting through 4 hours of this. I'm going to watch game three of the finals instead. Um, so that's what I did. I did see clips though. I did catch the highlights. Um, and the topic here is the newly announced AEW Unified Championship belt. Um, it looks fine. It is what it is. It's for the winner take all match between Kenny
Yeah.
Omega and Okada. They had this. I want to say disturbing because it really did look disturbing. When I don't want to watch a clip more than twice, it's bad. With Kenny Omega just spitting blood from his
Yeah,
mouth.
it's pro.
Um, I don't think there was a need to do this for this segment. Especially when you had um like these are spots you could say for All In. They had the super kick on Will Ospreay with the Young Bucks and their like shoes with the spikes on the bottom. They had that earlier. I don't know what else they did throughout the night. If they did anything else that's crazy. Not that I saw, but this I just feel like this was unnecessary.
Yeah, so I'm actually with you, or like you. Sorry, I've not actually watched it all. Just so much wrestling that you just forget about things. So yeah,
Yeah,
I've only seen the clip of Kenny spewing up the blood, so I've not really seen the kind of context of what led up to it or anything. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting one, and it's actually quite funny. I would take not take I can't take any credit here, but when they announced this, my girlfriend pointed this out. Oh, I said to her, she was like, "Oh yeah, you did." Was I've been saying for I think the last year ever since Kenny returned and won. Which one did he win? The international title. Is that the one Kenny has?
yeah, it's the international
Ever
title.
since Yeah, ever since he won that, I said straight away, I was like, they'll want to do Okada and Omega at All In, and they're going to unify the belts. And you can
Yeah,
even go back on, I only started my TikTok in late February, and other videos whenever I've done AEW predictions, I've been saying that since then. So for the last year, I've been saying they're going to do Kenny and Omega All In for the unification of the titles. So it was quite nice to wake up and see that. I was like, oh, I've been proven right this entire year.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I've not actually seen the context of what led up to the attack. So maybe something I need to go back and watch.
I think they were just targeting his stomach because of his past with stomach injuries.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, there's everything that we need to talk about. On the headlines of the week this week. Headlines of the week. This that sounded so weird to say. Um. But yeah, that's everything we have. We have literally 1 minute before SmackDown starts, so we literally ended this right on time. Um. So yeah, that is everything. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment, and hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, interviews that come to the channel. Subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum to sign up. Um, Go ahead and if you plan on buying anything from WWE Shop, use my WWE Shop link. I forgot to promote that earlier. Go follow Ruin Wrestling on TikTok. His TikTok is always in the description below. So go check him out as well. Um, and yeah, that's all I have. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, once again, thanks for having me on. Always enjoy popping in and doing the news segments. Very enjoyable.
Of course. Um, yeah, and we will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.